You ever feel like you're right there, so close to getting what you want, and then for some reason you just stop? Today we're going to dive into a really powerful metaphor from Uisenga Abdu. It's all about a simple object, but it perfectly explains one of the most painful things we all go through, giving up right before we're about to win.
Just think about that for a second. This is the big question we're tackling today. And it's a game changer, right? It could completely reframe every single struggle, every moment of doubt you've ever had. So yeah, let's unpack this. So where does this all come from? Well, it all starts with a super simple everyday moment. But it's one of those stories that kind of holds a mirror up to all of us, to our biggest dreams and, yeah, our quietest heartbreaks.
So picture this. You've got the author, Abdu, and he's hanging out with his 1-year-old nephew. And he's holding this sleek black headset. Now, for you and me, it's just a piece of tech, right? But for this little kid, it might as well be pirate treasure. It's the most amazing thing he's ever laid eyes on. He's just completely locked in on it.
And just like that, the game is on. The little guy starts reaching for it with everything he's got. You know how they do. Stretching, getting up on his tiptoes, his little fingers just barely brushing the edge. And the whole time, he's just laughing his head off. It's pure joy. It's that thrill of the chase, that amazing feeling of almost getting what you want.
But then, something changes. And this is the key part. He doesn't cry. He doesn't throw a fit. He just stops. His arms go down. He looks at the floor, and you can almost see the little switch flip in his brain. A decision has been made. You know what? This isn't worth it anymore. And isn't that just us? That little moment reveals a huge truth about all of us. We don't usually quit because something is literally impossible. We quit when our brain tells us the effort is pointless. And that's the exact moment we turn around and walk away, so often when we're just inches from grabbing that prize. So the big question is, why? Why do our brains do this to us? Well, here's the thing. It's not some kind of character flaw. It's actually a built-in feature of our psychology. Let's dig into this ancient trick our own minds are playing on us. Okay, so there's a name for this. It's called learned helplessness. You might have heard of it. There were these classic experiments where dogs who couldn't escape a shock eventually just gave up. They stopped trying, even when the researchers later opened the door for them. Why? Because their brains had learned that trying was futile. And we do the exact same thing. After we hit a wall enough times, we just stop reaching. We become totally convinced that the door is still locked, even when it's standing wide open. Here's the root of the problem. Our brains are basically running on really, really old software. I mean, think about it. For our ancestors, saving energy was a matter of life and death. If you chased something for too long and didn't catch it, you might not have the energy to survive. So the rule was simple. If it feels like it's taking too much effort, give up. But our modern goals, building a business, writing a book, finding a great relationship, they demand the exact opposite. They need us to push through precisely when that ancient part of our brain is screaming, stop, conserve energy. And this voice, it's so sneaky. It doesn't shout at you. No, it whispers. And it sounds so reasonable, so wise. It says things like, hey, you've tried enough. Or, this just isn't for you. Better to stop now. It feels like it's protecting you, right? But it's not. It's sabotage. It's that old survival code messing up your modern life. All right, so if we know this is just our brain's old programming, what do we do about it? How can we flip the script on this? Well, this next idea, it's a total game changer. Get ready for this, because it flips everything on its head. What if that moment when you feel most exhausted, when you're just done, isn't a sign you're failing? What if it's the exact opposite? What if that feeling is actually a signpost telling you that you're just about to reach the summit? Okay, let's break down how this illusion works, step by step. First, you get closer to your goal than you have ever been before. Second, all that effort you've put in builds up and your fatigue just peaks. It feels heavier and more pointless than ever. Third, that's the cue. The whisper starts. Your brain tells you, okay, time to stop, I'm protecting you. And here's the tragic part, step 4. We believe it. We mistake this final challenge, this final test, for a giant permanent stop sign. So, if you remember one thing, let it be this. That overwhelming urge to quit, it is not a red flag telling you to stop. It's a landmark. It's a signpost on the trail. It's basically the universe leaning in and asking, so, how bad do you really want this? It's the final exam before you get the prize. And believe me, passing this test is a huge deal. The stakes are incredibly high. Because as we're about to see, the pain of actually failing is nothing, absolutely nothing, compared to the pain of quitting just a little too soon.
Just look at the difference here. When you fail, it's loud. It's definite. There's a clear end. You learn your lesson, you lick your wounds, and you move on. But an almost? Oh, an almost is silent. It's a ghost that follows you. It's this open question that never gets answered, and it just haunts you forever with those two words, what if? And get this isn't just some poetic idea. It's backed by science. Study after study shows that more than 90%, let that sink in, more than 90% of our deepest, most painful regrets are not about the things we tried and failed at. Nope. They're about the things we didn't do, the shots we never took, the words we never said.
Just think about that for your own life. The biggest tragedies aren't these big, spectacular flameouts. They're the quiet, invisible gaps. You know, the unfinished book in a drawer, the I love you that was never said, the business idea that was abandoned right when it was about to take off. Those are the things that really sting. So this brings the question right back to you. Right now, what is your headset? In your job, in your personal life, in that project you're working on, what is that one thing you're reaching for that right now just feels a little too hard? The thing that's starting to feel, well, pointless? Because at the end of the day, that's the real cost, isn't it? It's not about the things that were truly out of reach. The most expensive thing in your life is going to be that thing that was right there, the one you almost had, until you decided to let your hand fall. It's that crushing weight of knowing you were just one more push, one more reach, away from everything you ever wanted.